What's up, Kansas City? I'm Serenity, and today we have Rob Love. How you doing, Rob?
I'm doing wonderful. It's nice to be here.
Tell us a little about yourself. So, Rob Love, that's your actual name, right?
That is my actual name. It's interesting. Some people may see me and remember me by a former name. So my name used to be Robert Heron III. But
Okay.
my mother passed away about 2 years ago. And as a tribute to her and the impact that she had on my life, I decided to take on the name of her family, which is Love. So I am actually a Love, but it's a relatively recent change to my name.
Oh, okay. Because I thought one while that was like a stage name or
I
something.
get that a lot. Yeah, most people, because it sounds so much like a stage name or like a late night radio DJ name. So I get
Right.
that sometimes.
Right, because I was like, Love, is that really your last name? So tell us, how did you get your start into poetry?
Interesting. I've always loved reading, writing, so it was something that I always did. But it wasn't until college that I was like, maybe this is something I could really do, like legitimately, seriously. So that was around 2007, and it's interesting. There was a deaf poet. I can't remember his name. I wish I could. But I can't. He came to our university. I went to the University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff, and he had a whole set, just 7 poems. He had his books laid out, and it awoke something in me and let me know that poetry is really something I could do if I put the energy and effort behind it.
So how many books have you written? I know you have a couple of books, or just one? Or
Just one that's completed. And I published this book, Ready to Rise. I published it in 2012. So since then, I've been marketing it and selling it, and that in itself has been a challenge. I'm so much more of an artist than a businessman, but I'm working to be, really good at both. So I'm in the process of completing the follow-up to this book, which will be entitled Thought in Action.
Okay.
And I'm also in the process of putting a CD together with poems from both this collection and that collection.
Oh, so you're having a CD and books?
Yeah.
Okay, I see.
Yeah.
Okay. So you do a lot of things in the community. You say you do youth outreach. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. So I see poetry as a very beautiful platform for social change and social action. And when it comes to youth empowerment and youth outreach, I feel like young people have to understand the power of their voices, not just for their benefit, but for the benefit of our entire community. So giving them an opportunity to put how they feel on paper, to let them know they're in a judgment-free zone, gives them an opportunity to test out their voices, and find their identity and their power in it. So I'll do poetry workshops. I've worked with the Juvenile Justice Center, Jackson County Family Court Division. I've visited schools all over the city. Lee A. Tolbert Academy is one of my favorites that I was able to work with. I've also worked with the Mary Kelly Center, and I'm in the process of putting some poetry workshops together for them, for youth after school.
Speaking of Mary Kelly Center, you just had an event there. Tell us a little bit about the event. So the I Am Artist. You hosted. So
right.
You're a host also.
That was different too. Yeah.
How do you feel about the hosting experience, and tell us a little about the events that you guys are going to do there.
So the hosting experience was totally outside of my comfort zone. But what poetry and self-expression has shown me is that if you're not pushing the limits, then you're not really accomplishing
That's true.
what you can. So I was like, let me branch out and do the hosting thing. And it was a very good experience, very fruitful in terms of what I learned, some of the connections I've made. And I want the community to know who I am, because I want them to know the message that I've been given. I want to share it. So if that means they recognize my face or the name, then that's a good way to do it. But with I Am an Artist, the whole idea was to create something that the city hasn't seen very much of, which is a platform that allows artists to dialogue with the community that they come from, for the community to dialogue with the artists that can help tell their stories. So we wanted to bring in as many artists as we could from the whole spectrum of creative expression. So musicians, dancers, poets, singers, everybody, and even fine artists, people who paint, draw, sketch, and bring everybody together so that we can network as artists in the city, but also so we can come together and help build solutions for the community the best way that we can.
When's the next event?
The
Do you
next,
have a date for that?
we don't have a date set yet. We're trying to do something every month.
Okay.
But the Mary Kelly Center is really good about promoting the event. So something should be coming up here soon, probably near the end of this month. At the latest, it'll be next month.
As far as your book that you have published, what's your advice you would give to somebody who wants to get into publishing their work as opposed to just performing?
When it comes to publishing your work, the most advice I can give, or the best advice I can give, is to do your research. Know the different avenues you can take to publish your work, and have a strategy for, and this is the big thing, have a strategy for what you'd like to do once you get your book published. It's one thing to publish something. It's another to know what to do with it, know how to market it, know where to market it,
right.
know who to speak to, the connections you make in your community or even outside of your community, even branching out nationwide. Once you publish your own work, you have a calling card, essentially, that you can send anywhere and let people know who you are. So it's imperative that you approach it that seriously.
Right.
And just know everything that you want to do with it before you have it in your hand.
Okay. So, you have a book coming out. What's the name of that book?
That book will be entitled Thought in Action. The whole concept behind that book is the power of manifestation. If you truly want something, you can create it. And it's not that difficult to conceive it. It's not that difficult to put it into motion, to make something real that starts out as a vision or a dream or a thought. And I want people to understand that they have that power. Something that's kind of been hidden from us. So my hope is that the words, every word that I write, every poem that I put together, my intention is to urge transformation in people, to empower people, to uplift, to enlighten people. Not just about what's going on around them, but it starts with the source. It starts internally. So knowing what this is, knowing how to process this, and understanding the power that this possesses is critical. So that book will be all about unlocking this power on the level of just creating what you want around you.
So how would somebody get in contact with you, Mr. Love?
Okay, so the best way to get in contact with me is by Facebook. You can visit facebook.com/Rob Love Poetry. I'm also on Instagram at BrotherLove1, @BrotherLove1. And then I'm on Twitter at AnkRob. And I also have a website. The website is roblovepoetry.wix.com/KCMO. And there's a one-stop shop for everything. My book is available exclusively on that website. I also have ways you can send me an email and get in contact with me to book me for a performance, to book mentoring sessions or poetry workshops.
All right. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
And I'm Serenity, reminding you to spit your piece, and make sure you check out whatsupkansascity.net.